cars are ready, the drivers are ready. We hope you're ready as qualifying is about to begin here in Bahrain.
Indeed. Hello, everybody. Oh, great.
Right, a little bit of an electrical problem at the moment. We're working on it now, so don't worry. We're going to get you out there as soon as possible.
Oh, McLaren. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to F1 2018 for career season number 3. Our first season with McLaren, trying to rise them from the depths of the back of the field somewhere into, well, I don't know, the midfield. This, however, is not going to be helping. Not one little bit. Alright, well, let's go ahead and skip the repair time here in Bahrain, just after the F1 2019 real-life Bahrain race, which should be interesting for us to have something to talk about. Let's see here. How are we looking? Of course, being Bahrain. I say, of course, being Bahrain in the dry. However, it is currently, at the moment I'm recording this, raining in Bahrain, where they are doing testing. So, perhaps that's not as certain as it might seem. The track is very busy. I was able to do the practice qualifying program. Our target was 19th. We got 19th. So we'll see what that means for qualifying today. Alright, here we go. Now to me, this is the start of the normal season of Formula 1. This is where we're going to get the best picture of where the teams actually are. And hopefully that's true in real F1 too, because we certainly saw a slightly different picture in the real F1 race than we had in Australia. And hopefully we have a different picture here, because the picture that was painted for me in our virtual Australia Season 3 opener is not too good. It looked like we were quite a bit further off the pace than I expected. This is a tough section of the track. I should focus on driving. Ew. That's kind of ugly. Bahrain is a very difficult but fun track to drive. I quite like the place, actually. I'm pretty sure I got that open. Have confirmed, by the way, that light you see to the right only indicates when DRS is available. It does not indicate that it is on, unfortunately. I wasn't quite clear enough when I was talking about that last week. Now, I don't know where this lap's gonna stand for us. And we should have enough time in the session to go out again, if need be. Alright. Doesn't seem like we're too far back. Oh, crap. 19th. Okay, so we got some work to do. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. That is exactly what the team was expecting. I expect a little bit more than that, and we see that there is time on track. A little bit too wide into here. There's plenty of track to use.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Really focus in here. Excuse me, it is not raining. There is no reason for those. I mean, let's be honest, there's no reason to begin with, but... I find myself really sharply looking to the apex here. Boy, I don't know if DRS is open right now. I hit the button, but I didn't see his thumb move in the animations. We are on a better lap, so it's possible the tires have two good laps in them here. See how it stacks up. It's a better run out of the turn as well. Oh, don't tip in the dirt. Alright, up to 14th. Hey, that's a nice improvement. Alright, well, I'm going to go into the pits and we'll probably go out for another run, see if we can find a little bit more. But that's not too shabby.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 28.1.
It looks like Sector 2 is where we are losing time, and that doesn't surprise me because I'm running really low aero on the car to get the thing to have the straightaway speed it needs to keep up with everybody. So I guess I just really have to try and nail a Sector 2 in order to do any better. Ooh, I didn't change tires. We may run out of time here. This is a pretty long track. We'll see. Let's go to a flying lap. I want to try for one more. Just maybe we have the off chance of making it to Q2 if we get another 10th or 2 out of the track. Alright, looks like we do indeed have enough time. This is for sure open. I should try moving around in the cockpit. I should try changing my FOV to get that better. I do need to recenter my track IR. It's a little bit off. That was ugly. Oh, that was no good. We're 2/10 down in Sector 1. Hold on, let's try and fix that right now. Not worth it. It was not worth trying to fix right now. Now we're 3/10 down. Uh-oh. Just overdrive it, Conan. I'm sure that'll fix it. Actually did find a little bit there. Wheel spin's the last thing we need. That won't help our low straightaway speeds at all. Boy, that was nice, but didn't get as good a run on the exit. We are not going to improve on this lap, it looks like. Unless I find some magic in this last turn. The magic was running really wide. Hey, I found a 10th.
Curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Sergio Perez, and Grosjean, Magnussen, Ocon, Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. Vettel, Alonso, Pierre Gasly and Ericsson, Leclerc, Hülkenberg, Sergei Sirotkin and Red, Stroll and Brendan Hartley rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Alright, I actually took some time to change some camera settings. I've changed my mirror angle. You can only change it up and down, not in and out, which is super annoying, because if I could change it in and out, I'd have no issues. But I changed the angle a little bit so I can see the rear wing, so that I have a DRS, indication. That's good. That's a positive change. Race strategy-wise, we're going to be doing a one-stop from the soft to the medium. Probably going to be the case for us for a bunch of the races here this season. I'm not going to put a lot of fuel on board because I feel like the car doesn't use as much fuel running slower. And we're going to run slower on the harder compound tires than everyone else. So we don't need to put fuel on board. We don't need to be heavy at the start of the race. I'm very disappointed with my qualifying effort. Hamilton. Alonso's up there in P12. We're back here P18. So not sure what the deal is there. I'm going to have to do some personal improvement as well as some car improvement. But let's get going here in Bahrain. A very good track for passing, so we have some opportunity. Alright, here we go. Let's try and use these new camera positions to get a good start. I was a bit late and just spun the tires like crazy. This car does not seem to want to get away. That's probably the biggest concern for me. Oh, buddy. That was quite a stack up there. Quite a stack up here as well. Well, we got some positions out of it so far. But no, yeah, the car does not seem to want to get off the line. I realized we were on the dirty side of the track, but even with a good launch, it seems to get away really slowly. Yikes. That got close. No contact, but it was certainly very, very close. This is why I really like this track. There's plenty of passing opportunity, and there's options. There's turns that you can take different lines through to get a good lunge out of, and there's not an immediate turn the opposite direction to undo what you did. So if you get beside somebody, it's not like, well, cool, now you're screwed because you're on the wrong side of the track. I think that's something that needs attention in future track design. Something maybe that wasn't given enough attention. Now I feel the lack of power. Oh, Vettel's pretty mired in the field here. I feel dirty even mentioning the name Vettel in this race. Easy. Wait, I get a good run through here, don't I? That's the second good pass we've had into there.
Nice move.
That was a brilliant move. Thank you. I am quite pleased with that. We are right behind Alonso now. Boy, for a crappy start, we have really made the most out of this. Maybe I was right. Maybe this thing didn't want to qualify well, but it's really good in the race. Once again, the car feels good. Like it drives well. It just seems to lack a little bit of pace. So I got some fuel to use here, as I predicted, which is nice because I can run the car lighter than usual. Approaching DRS here.
Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled.
Looks like we got a good group of cars ahead of us, and then a bit of a breakaway. As with real F1, I think our season here is going to have an interesting mix in the midfield because the cars have gotten so close to each other, speed-wise. There's a lot of overlap. And when you have a bunch of cars running together, in this era of Formula 1, especially with how much downforce the cars make, all it does is make a group slow. Don't overdrive it. It's tempting to right now because I see points paying positions ahead of me here. You can see our DRS open. Alright. Proved myself a little bit right there. No damage to either one of us. We can move on. It was a lot slower into that turn than I was expecting. Boy, he's just a lot slower on the brakes early. I guess I'm kind of more threshold braking into the turn. Getting us a little bit crossed up here. I got Toro Rossos with DRS behind me. Easy back tires, easy. We did give this thing a little bit of a power boost here. Did a cylinder head research thing. It was a 1 weaker. Not a huge upgrade, but it is engine power. See what I mean about this pack in front of us? They're all slower because they're racing each other. And we got Danny Rick on supers also. Ocon as well. Thank you for actually giving me the audible alert this time. If that wasn't the largest hang-up we've ever had, I don't know what is. Holy cow. Oh, shysta. That was not intentional exceeding of track limits. That was hold on for dear life. Thought we were about to go 3 wide right there. Woohoo! That was a very tricky sequence of events. Sorry, Alonso. I didn't mean to pick you off like that. These two ahead of us are still going at it. Renault has kind of left the pack. The group's starting to disperse a little bit. Our tires should hold on a little bit better than the two ahead of us.
Data shows the tyres are okay right now. We anticipate good levels of grip for the next few laps at least.
You listening to me, Jeff? You hear what I'm saying? It's not something I'd really ever accuse you of. Jeez, what is these? What is these? What is this grammar? What are these weird swings that they're making all of a sudden?
That brings you up a place.
It's like they're going for the block at the point of which I'm already beside them. Hello, wing! Yikes, debris on the track there. That is like right on racing line. I think that would probably be a VSC or something in real life. I don't know if he had someone next to him or what, but he was all about trying to move over into me. We're much faster in the turns than he is right now. Much faster. I swear. You have to leave a space. Always. How are we not closing this gap? Again! I probably moved over into him that time.
The gap to the car ahead is 4.6 seconds.
All of that gave Danny Rick a 4-second gap. And there's no doubt in my mind that we're running times that should be a second or so faster a lap than him right now. Oh, he's already pit? No, Hamilton's pit already. Interesting. I'm gonna have to get used to these one-stop strategies. Well, let's see if we can close it all. On Mr. Daniel. This track really does produce very good racing. Awkward in places, but really, for some reason, just works better than a lot of the other tracks that are similar to it. Somebody definitely needs to do some research into what they got right here versus other ones built in the era. China's pretty good too. I don't mind China either, and hopefully the real race in China is also good. We can continue the trend. As bad as things looked in Australia, things look relatively good right now.
Ricardo is stopping now.
He's going to be on a two-stop. Going to be a lot of different strategies in this one, I think.
Behind is 2.3 seconds.
That will be interesting to see how everybody mixes together in the end. Catching up the signs up there would be quite beneficial to us, as he's on the same tire strategy. Looks like Gasly's kind of holding up that pack behind us a bit. Tire fall off is really big here. This may also be a reason why the races tend to be a little bit better here. I say that because it means that the people doing two stops, they're going to be lapping a lot faster than us at the moment. All they have to do is knock off, 16
Increase
seconds
DRS deployment. It's time to use some of this charge.
during a run, and they can overcome the fact that they pit twice. It's a very short pit lane. See, there's virtually no pit entry. You just shove it in there. It's so weird because the car feels so good here, and it just feels so good overall. It's deceiving. It makes me think I'm doing laps that are, very competitive because the car feels really good. That's what I'm used to. That's what I got used to, but it's not the case.
The gap behind us is 4.0 seconds.
I do think we're running a good pace, and I'm pleased. It's just so much different than what I had gotten used to. It is very fuel efficient, that is for sure. Seems like I'm gonna have to start changing my strategy up a little bit to run lighter. That is one thing that has come to light. We're gonna talk about real F1 for a minute. Obviously, the heartbreak. I hope it's the heartbreak of the season. Like, if there's anything more heartbreaking than what happened to Leclerc in this race, then I don't know that we'll be able to take it.
Our gap to the car in front is
good lap there.
2.3 seconds.
But what we thought was MGU-H failure in the race turns out to be they lost a cylinder in the race due to an injector failure. And some of the coolest tech stuff I have read is how they managed that. It turns out they turned off that cylinder. No spark, they just let that cylinder run. Of course, they were worried about damage because fuel is also an upper cylinder lubricant. So it's possible that they were doing damage to the engine. But what they ended up doing was compensating for losing that cylinder by using that cylinder's fuel in the other cylinders of the engine to make power, which is just incredible. Like, these engines are so fuel restricted, as Grosjean here on very old supers. Oh, that was a swipe. We almost got Grosjean. But yeah, since the engines are so fuel restricted, they basically can make similar-ish power levels out of 5 cylinders as they could from 6.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
What they ended up having troubles with, now that
Green flag.
ended up, kind of coming undone, is they weren't able to run the engine as efficiently on 5 as 6. So they were not able to run at that power mode and have enough fuel to go to the end of the race. And a lot of that is because they...
Some information on Hulkenberg.
Ooh, that's good
They've got
news
a
for
serious
us.
car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
That might help us in our push for points here today. But yeah, because they underfuel the cars, they almost always start those cars with less fuel than, rich mix would get you to the end of the race. There's a much finer line there. Much finer line as to how many different, fuel strategies they could do. They're managing their fuel way more than I am, the drivers, that is.
The car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre.
So they've already pit. But in theory, Haas has done a one-stop off the Supras. That's impressive. That's impressive right there. Sorry, 2 different race talks happening at the same time here. But no, yeah, it was generally I was fascinated reading about what all happened with Leclerc's engine. Such a heartbreak for that team and for him. On top of what transpired with Vettel down in here, I believe. I believe this was the turn.
To run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
I was glad to see that we got some information about what happened. I didn't want it to be one of those cases where it was just, forever a mystery. They pretty much published exactly what happened. I thought he was going to easily pass us there, but of course I overdrove the exit. Overall, the car is still really good on these tires. It's just lacking a little bit in that center turn speed. I'm surprised by how much ERS we have available. Oh, also, the other part of that was we all thought it was an MGUH failure because of what the car was saying.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
But in reality, what it was...
Okay, keep on him. He might make a mistake.
Don't worry about that, Jeff. We're different strategies here. The reality is that the engine just wasn't producing enough heat. It wasn't producing enough exhaust gas out of 5 cylinders to keep the turbos spooled up enough to harvest energy out of it. So there was nothing wrong with the energy harvest system like we suspected or were told, basically. The problem was there wasn't enough energy to harvest because the engine was not producing enough heat and air volume. Which again, is just wild. It's crazy to think about that. Really shows just how incredibly complicated these cars are. I loved it. I loved reading about that stuff. I wish we could read more about what happened with Renault's. Or if there's any grounding to this, I don't know, conspiracy theory that they shut off
Box this lap. Keep
the
an eye
wrong
on your
Renault,
distance to the speed limit line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
or if both Renaults just failed at the same time. Shove it in there! Yeah. That was actually pretty smooth. So where do we come out in this field, and how many people are on 2 stops? These are the questions we hopefully get answers to.
Go, go, go.
That's an okay stop. Not great. Currently we're in like 13th, 14th.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
But now we're out on track. Oh, you remember that from this track, how it shoves you right into turn 1 with no control of your car. Alright, so we're on track in 14th, done pitting, and with newer tires in the cars in front of us. It's just going to be a matter of how compromised our speed is on mediums. Nobody made it work in the real race. Nobody made that one stop work here. That really screwed over Danny Rick's race before the failure. I was pretty disappointed with Renault's decision there. They should have kept their drivers on the same strategy. There was no reason to separate them. Felt like Red Bull all over again. The difference is I like Hulkenberg. And I want to see him do well. Gosh, so sucks for him as well to have the failure. He ran an amazing race.
Fernando's in for his stop.
The rest of the one-stoppers this lap. Here's Hartley. He's going to give me a free DRS. And I think we are actually in the points as of right now. Being in the points and being done with our pit stops feels good, man. That's a good feel. Everything we get from here is icing on the cake. Of course, I also need to save this position. I feel like there's still some 2-stoppers ahead of us within striking distance.
Okay, the gap behind is 4.7 seconds.
This is a very different feel. Like, I'm just running my own individual race right now, hoping to gain positions by strategy. That's not really the style I was getting accustomed to there last season. I have a lot of fuel energy and electrical energy available to me right now, so I'll try and use all of that while these tires are very good. I'd love to catch and get back into DRS range. Of course, the other big talking point of the race was Vettel's spin. Certainly a lot of people saying it just seems to be a trait of the Ferrari this year.
6.9 seconds.
Something about that car is making it very, very snappy. Has those snap oversteer moments. It was truly one of the most bizarre spins I've seen an F1 car do. It looked so in control, and nothing looked like it was offline, nothing looked like it was going to be bad, and then all of a sudden it was just insta-spin, like somebody threw a banana peel out in front of the thing. It was crazy looking. But it seems to be just a nature of the car. The craziest thing to me was, after the spin, and during the spin, it didn't really look that bad. It looked like a pretty, lazy spin. Didn't lock him up for any major amount of time. But in that little lazy spin, it damaged the tires enough to cause the car to vibrate to the point that it broke the front wing off. That was crazy. That was just... It looked like something out of a Michael Bay movie. It was really weird. It didn't look like physics supported what happened there. Pretty wild. I mean, that kind of stuff happens.
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
Yeah, there goes everybody on the one stops. Now, if we can stay, or sorry, two stops. If we can actually stay clear of those cars as they're on faster tires, I don't know. But as of now, it looks real nice. Still a lot of race to go here. But yeah, like I was saying, that kind of stuff, certainly, it just kind of happens, and they're all pushing to incredible levels. I think Vettel feels an immense amount of pressure to perform with Ferrari, and now he has young, hot shoe, extremely talented Leclerc as his teammate. For those that, you know, maybe don't like Vettel very much, certainly getting payback for the era of being the favored driver and making his teammates, you know, suffer. Not that he made his teammates suffer, but his performance did. He might be getting a taste of that medicine with Leclerc. I personally like Vettel, and I want to see him do well. And it's been fascinating to me to see him performing, you know, at the level of effort that he is. I hope someday we get to see Hamilton also performing at that level, also pushing to overcome. I thought we were about to get Ferrari right there. I believe Kimi is the leader of the two stops. Leader of the two-stop train. I'm probably going to want to let him through. Much faster car, much faster tires. Let him through, let him go fight Perez, and hope that we can get around Perez in that scuffle. Pretty fascinating strategies overall in this race.
The car behind has come in. They're now on the soft tyre. Softs on the car behind.
I had noticed that. This is interesting because I've been closing in on Perez, but I got all this pressure from Raikkonen too. Not a great exit there. DRS in the draft.
The leader is 28.5 seconds.
I'm impressed by Perez right there. I am very impressed. That should not have happened. He should not have been able to hold that position. This is where I feel like the smart thing for me to do would be to let Raikkonen go. I'm gonna do it. I hope
Magnussen's in first place.
that he can take the fight to Perez and we can sneak by. I don't want the three of us to run slower together and end up letting Grosjean catch.
Our gap behind is 3.6 seconds.
Okay, not too bad. This is a weird place for him to try and pass. I wish I had slid in the center there. That is a major bummer for me. Holy crap, Perez, you madman! defender of the century right now. That's really screwing us both. I think that Force India is good. I think it's pretty good this season, so not an easy move for Kimi here. This is really hindering our race more than either of theirs, though. Perez locked him up. If that pack behind us catches us, we're going to be in trouble. I'm burning through my fuel now. This battle rages on. Okay, this should be the move for him. And now hopefully I can catch back up to Perez.
The advice moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2. Gap to teammate behind is 4.6 seconds.
If he manages to get this back, okay, he's not done it. Alonso's having a good race as well.
Okay, clear.
This has been a good day. I thought he was about to go for it again. Seriously though, that was a heck of a defense from him. Alright, now I'm just kind of sitting back, biding my time. I'm hoping that Kimi's just going to leave the two of us. Ooh, I'm lucky. I'm very lucky. I locked up the rear tires badly. I'm very lucky to have taken no front wing damage there. It was a gentle boot. I'm trying to give myself good exits, but I'm not really succeeding at it at the moment. Go. Cleared him. Cleared him really well, actually.
You made it look easy.
That was a pretty critical pass, I believe. But now we got a Haas Ferrari parade behind him.
1.9 seconds.
So now what does Kimi do with, I think, signs up ahead? That'll be interesting once again. And then how long does Perez hold off the two behind him? I'm glad I have so much extra power mode to use on the straightaways just to basically keep up. Interesting way to drive, that is. Certainly running quicker without being stuck in traffic with those two. Alright, Grosjean's gotten around.
Distance to the leader is 33.9 seconds.
Magnussen has curb stomped this field. As good as it's gone in the mid-pack for racing, Magnussen just nailed the strategy and just absolutely destroyed everybody else. Which is exactly what Leclerc was doing in this race. So, if we want a perfect recreation of that, Magnussen's going to have some kind of problem at this point. A little bit wide right there. Can't afford many mistakes right now. I'm also watching what's going on ahead of us there. Because I hesitate to even say, it's not even impossible we could squeeze out a podium if we caught signs. We need those two to battle a lot for that to happen. Grosjean's not catching too fast. Catching, but not faster than it feels like I can hold off. As the race has gone on, the car is feeling much better. That was a pretty quick exchange in front of us. It's not what we needed.
The gap to the car behind is 2.0 seconds.
Oh, we actually increased that a bit, huh? Sector 2 is definitely the car's weak point. It's so weird how this car was so bad in qualifying, but feels relatively good in the race. I'm certainly having to drive the absolute piss out of it to get it to keep up.
Gap to car in front is 3.0 seconds.
But I wasn't exactly easy on it in qualifying either. I can manage to feel a little bit better than I was. Oh. It feels so dead on the straightaway without my battery in high mode. Oh, I didn't realize we had Vettel behind us on softs too. That's going to be ugly. Alright, one lap of managing energy here. And then we can probably go flat out to the end.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Which is what we'll need. It's getting close. When they catch, I have to remember 7th place is still a huge victory for us. So, as badly as I want to hold this 4th, I can't freak out if those two get around me. I mean, I'm running.
We're leading our teammate by 4.6 seconds.
I'm running pretty darn consistent laps. This tells me I'm pretty much getting everything I can out of the car. And it really feels like I am too. Certainly getting everything I can out of the track. I feel like these are some of the best laps I've ever turned here, but obviously just not in a car
Magnussen's out in front.
that could do something with it. Vettel is here now with his better tires. The only way I can stay ahead of them is if I manage to force
The gap to the car
a battle
ahead is
between those two.
3.1 seconds.
Look, I'm gonna end up running this thing right on fumes.
Okay,
That was my best lap. That was his best lap. That was the best lap of the race. Nothing I can do about that. Let's try to hang with him though. And get Grosjean if we can. Thought you were about to spin out there. You have a history. Good thing I got the arrest there, because I did not get a good exit.
Okay, we think the effects of the tyre deg are going to kick in soon.
Yeah.
It should be alright for the time being, but you will start to find it a bit more slippery out there.
I would agree. I've been really running these tires this whole run. I'm worried I'm out of activation zone. Yeah, I think we'll be good. Got it. He's got a draft, though. As did I. I just kind of played middle track there. Does look like we'll be able to, if I can like save a little bit of fuel in the middle sector here, we'll be able to do rich for the whole last lap. Which is what we need. Really need to try to not overrun those apexes. Nice. We've actually closed in on Sainz quite a bit here, as Vettel's been pulling us along. This was a darn good lap overall. Had to throw it into Rich there.
This is
He
your
has a
final
draft.
lap, final lap of the race.
He's not close enough. He's also got pressure now from a Red Bull.
Less
Bit
than
too
a
deep.
lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Vettel's pushing like crazy here as well to try and get to that podium.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
He's going for it. No DRS for us. Oh, fireworks scared me. Grosjean got a bad exit, which is good. Magnussen's already won. Vettel slipped a little bit there. I don't think he's going to get to him. It will be close. Let's burn all of the energy out of this thing. Oh, he stole the fast lap. Kimi did. All right. That was...
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That was hard fought right there. 5th place, purely out of strategy, really. I mean, I drove a mighty fine race, too, but that was...
Great work from the Haas team. They take
that
a
was quite an
famous
effort.
win here today. Tell me,
Good job,
there aren't
Haas.
many teams, you know,
Continuing
as they come out onto the
what I
podium
did for
now,
you.
who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here.
Nice podium
It's
there.
hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory.
All right. How does that shake things up?
So then, it's
Pretty
time
good
to
race.
see how this result
Nice job
affects
from
the
Alonso.
Drivers' Championship. Kevin Magnussen takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Red. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
And
Very
now
handy.
let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Haas moved further ahead at the top of the standings. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
Thrilling installment indeed. I think it's really going to be an interesting season. Can we just take a moment to realize that Mercedes is in 8th place in the constructor standings after 2 races. Force India is 3rd. We are 6th. This field is jumbled. This is nothing like we started this career mode as, and that is fun. I enjoy that. That is good. Alright, that was the Bahrain race. I hope you enjoyed. I sure did. I really do enjoy this track. We didn't get to do as much talking about real F1 as I'd hoped, but hopefully there was enough scattered thoughts in there. It was just too much of a fun race. I'm sorry, I guess. Oh, man. Oh, there was some wing. Somebody lost some. Oh, I forgot all about the fact I had a terrible start. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't at all what we needed. It was not a super clean lap 1. I didn't hit anything, it just was messy, I suppose. But for the rest of the race, I was on it. Maybe I was off it on lap 1, but for the rest of that Grand Prix, I think I drove some of my best laps, at least at this track ever. Quite fun indeed. Alright, well, we've made personal progress. I don't think our car is still good. It still needs a lot of work, especially for any kind of qualifying pace. But it proved to be useful during the race. The ability to use Rich Mix for all of the race was really critical, and not have to run heavy fuel. That's going to end up being good. If we can work on harvesting more energy out of it, then we'll have more potential, I believe, to keep up in the races. But overall, it's shaping up to be a pretty fun season. I will see you all next time. China.